Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. Roar to restore. Media Partner 2023 CNBC-TV18.
Lions Clubs International was one of the first non-governmental organization invited to assist in formulating the NGO section of United Nations Charter and participate in developing humanitarian mission. UN granted LCI consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council. For generations, LCI and UN have shared many common goals and worked together to further peace and prosperity. Each year, LCI celebrates UN Day with the United Nations for showcasing the work of Lions, Leos, and partners towards the UN's mission. This Sustainable Development Program will take these steps forward, and I welcome all the executive officers who are present here, the panelists who are going to be here, and all the Lion members for this excellent function. Thank you very much and welcome once again.
Hello and a very warm welcome to everyone present here at the GIVE Conclave, where we are talking today about corporate community sustainability as an agenda for tomorrow, but action has to be taken today. So may I invite my panel here, Sridhar Sarthi, Chief Ethics Officer and Head Sustainability CSR Tata Capital, Amrita Chaudhary, CEO and co-founder Gaia Smart Cities, Kumar Anurag Pratap, Vice President and CSR Leader Capgemini, Shishir Joshi, Chief Executive and Founder Trustee Project Mumbai, Ma'am Vimla Ramesh, CEO Maharashtra State Khadi and Village Industries Board, and Aruna Uswalji, Past Director, Lions International. Sridhar, if I may start with you, how, as a practice, are then the ethos of generosity, impact, vision, empathy that we are talking about, and the CSR activities, and moving beyond CSR activities, come down to your work?
The purpose of, it's important for us to understand why we exist. There's a purpose. At Tata Capital, the purpose of us is to be a responsible financial services provider, fulfilling India's aspirations. Tatas have always believed in nation building, and we've continued to contribute. I won't say contribute, but to support the Tata Group, the country in its developmental efforts. It's a small effort by us, but we would continue to do that. What we've been trying to do, because in the interest of time and seeing the other panelists there, but what we've been trying to do is make sure that we do a vital few, but make sure at the same time that there's a deep impact on what we do. So I'll give you an example. So there are 17 SDGs, and surely we'd like to contribute to all the 17 SDGs, but we've chosen a vital few. And of course, whether it's one or two, but we've started with three. And one of the major areas that we've done in three is about eradication of curable blindness. Number two is what we've also done is, of course, Tata Group has contributed to cancer care in its own way, and we've continued with that. And we've used technology to the hilt, because everybody from the rural hinterlands in the country cannot come to Bombay, which is the so-called Mecca of cancer care. So we've used technology to the hilt to see what we could do for the underprivileged, to send their papers across to Tata Memorial, and it is scanned, it is seen, and the opinions of the doctors are given and sent across. Number three, as I said, one of the key areas, they say the next world war is going to be fought over water. And so there's a lot of focus by Tata Capital on climate action, which is SDG 13. And so water security, water scarcity, making sure there is integrated watershed development project, which has a ripple impact. Lastly, we've also done, we say there is enough energy, there is enough electricity in the country, but if you go to the rural hinterlands, you won't see electricity at all. So what we've done there is we've set up off-grid solutions for the rural poor, made sure there is electricity, but more importantly, what it's helped is it's prevented reverse migration. It's helped in clean drinking water. Women folk have more time for their own work, which enables us to do some skill development, entrepreneurial skill development, etc.
Kumar Anurag, from your experience, how does one scale? Number one, how does one choose? Number two, and how difficult then it is to do all of it?
My response always is to play with your strength. If your strength is in X, do X. Don't take Y or Z or A or B or C there. That's one. Second is, when we started this particular journey, what we said that CSR is not about taking out check, handing it over, doing a photo up, feeling very good about it, going back, writing a newsletter about the work that you're doing. And your work primarily was cutting the check, nothing else. And there are a number of, I'll say, corporates who came out with a very clear vision on what they intend to do with the money which was there in the CSR kitty. In our case, what we saw was in the last, I'll say, 10, 15 years or so, the world is becoming two, or India has become two. One world which is super high on digital skills, knowledge, expertise, and they're using this knowledge and expertise on digital to access all the opportunities, get all the entitlements, get all the benefits there. And there's sizable part of world, there's sizable part of India which is lacking these, which is preventing, I'll say, a street vendor to get the benefit that he or she should be getting, and or I'll say unorganized laborer or a student in a government school, they are not getting the level playing field for them to really access the opportunities. During COVID, this became very, very, I'll say, clear for everyone to see. The people who were there digitally very, I'll say, active, they survived. People who were not digitally, I'll say, literate, for them it was very difficult. In last 8 or 9 years or so, our focus collectively has been to bridge this digital divide, where the whole effort is to see how we can ensure that kids get quality input, youth get skilling on courses and domain that the market is looking for, and the communities get support to enhance their capabilities and skills so that they can also live their life with dignity. And that has been the focus for us there.
I want to get Amrita on this about smart cities. That is the pet project, that is your company. We are looking at urban sustainability challenges in cities. So what are the first few pointers that you look at when you're looking at a city from sustainability and urban sustainability points of view?
When we are looking at the mission itself, like, which is now towards in its 6th year, and it started out with this idea of citizen engagement to identify and do a SWOT analysis of, like, okay, what does the city have in terms of challenges? What are its strengths? And from there, identify the set of initiatives that each city wanted to do. So as an example, I mean, in Agra and many other cities, they have chosen mobility, they have chosen solid waste management, they have chosen solar, and solar PV and rooftop solar and so on. So these are all different elements of, what cities choose. And when we design the technology and the systems, it is not just tech, right? There is a context to it. So a city will choose a set of, let's say, 8 projects, 10 projects, 16 projects. And, most of them, some of them are mega projects, right? So if you're looking at the surveillance systems, the security systems, the integrated control and command centers, these are mega projects. But there are projects around digital literacy, around skilling, about employability of women and youth. There are a lot of projects around healthcare. So these are all about affordable housing. These are all integral parts of the overall master plan of the city, of which many of the cities have made progress in building that forward. And it's not just confined to the 100 smart cities. I think when we look at urban, our context of urban goes down all the way to the 5,000 urban local bodies. And if you look at initiatives related to, let's say, solid waste management, sewage, Swachh Bharat, all of them are extending to all of these 5,000 cities, right? And again, the whole idea is that you're looking at sanitation, you're looking at health, these are all very interlinked ideas, and you need to ensure that you're bringing that lens. So I'll just give you an example of we were working with Delhi police to design their entire intelligent traffic system. Now, when you look at smart mobility, right, on the supply side means what's the infrastructure and provisioning, and not the demand side where people can reduce consumption through using public transport, right? Both need to go hand in hand. But on the supply side, if you see, there is a choice of the overall vision is to improve the efficiency of the city. The city needs to move faster. There needs to be less congestion, and Delhi is known to be it's top 11 in the world in terms of congestion. So you're looking at how do you design the system better so that the city flows? How do you look at the software in the systems so that there is less wait times at the intersections, which is a major contributor to the carbon footprint of the roads and of the intersections?
Raw to Restore. Media Partner 2023 CNBC-TV18. Raw to Restore. Media Partner 2023 CNBC-TV18.
So we are essentially looking at people-centric policies. Let me also get Vimlaji on this. When we talk about people-centric, and especially I always have an agenda with gender and always looking at what is being done for women. खादी के साथ में बहुत काम हो रहा है, लेकिन तब भी ऐसा कभी-कभी लगता है कि खादी को लोग पूरी तरीके से समझ नहीं पाते हैं. या खादी it's only something that is associated with what we wear. But there is such a huge definition and body of work when we talk about khadi, and in what ways it is upskilling women and small industries, and what is happening on ground with the government's initiatives. If you could tell us a little more about where are the challenges specifically when it comes to understanding the movement, understanding khadi, and how sustainability as something that you are wearing, how possible it is, because sustainability sometimes comes at a cost, and a lot of times it's not understood by Janta. So what are some of the things that you are grappling with, and how are you fixing those issues?
Main difficulty about khadi is the mindset of the people, I think. That is one of the biggest things that, I don't think anyone in this hall would be wearing a khadi shirt or a khadi jacket. I'm very happy. Thank you so much. Couple of them are here, and I'm indeed grateful for that. Oh yeah, thanks a lot. So I'm very happy that, we have a lot of people here wanting to propagate sustainability. So, but the sense of pride, the cost factor which you were talking about. So we really don't shy of buying probably a branded Nike cloth or apparel or any of the brands, you know them over here. You're from Louis Vuitton to everything is here. So we really don't fall shy, or we like to flaunt it. But why don't we like to flaunt khadi? So perhaps, when we start flaunting khadi, when we start feeling good about it, it will be made also in larger number. And the challenges which you were talking about, the biggest challenge is the labor. So if, making a khadi cloth requires 6 to 7 processes, right from ginning to spinning to cleaning, and ultimately the thread is woven. So khadi is the thread is the most important. So if you want to bind your country into a weave, you have to first appreciate that the labor has to be given his due. So nobody wants to work for khadi because the employment potential and the wages which you get is really not attractive. And it's not attractive because they're all market linked also. So when a khadi product has to be bought, the person who's weaving khadi, so I'm really sorry to share that, in Maharashtra, we had more than 100 institutions making khadi. Today, I'm having only 40 institutions in Maharashtra making khadi. So everyone doesn't want to weave khadi. It's time bound, it's labor oriented, and labor is not cheap. And none of us wants to put in that effort. Who wants to weave one thread? So you have to make it attractive. So probably that will, build more life into it.
Shishir, I'm going to, first of all, thank you for patiently waiting, but I'm going to have you, let you have the last word on the first round. So when we talk about everyone working in silos, is there a way to come forward? Because when everybody is working on a smaller project, it sort of remains constrained to that geography and doesn't get scaled up. So if someone has to scale up, especially in your line of work, what are some of the ways one can do that, and what kind of help are you looking at then from communities like perhaps Lions?
We've adopted the wheelchair basketball team. They're the national champions now, the wheelchair basketball team. We've got 15 days from now, the first ramp on Juhu Beach will be coming up, which will enable a person on a wheelchair to walk to the beach. Imagine I live in Mumbai, I'm on a wheelchair, I can never go to a beach. And there are people across the country who are coming to see the water and the coastline. And a wheelchair person in Bombay can never go to a beach. We are doing that. We are creating inclusive gardens. And to respond to your Mugdha, the question is, it needs to be collaborative.
Yeah.
We need to have our strengths. We have worked with Gaia in the past. We have worked with Cap Gemini in the past. And the idea is all of us have strengths. It cannot be only a Project Mumbai initiative. It has to be all of us to put together. And can we give our time? Can we give some energy? And the example that I can give you is in COVID, I know Lions Club has done immense, and hats off to that. But we impacted close to 1.5 crore lives only during the COVID time, which translates to around 9,000 people every day. And that's how the kind of lives we've impacted. And we are just a 5-year-old organization. To speak of a story, in the peak of COVID, there was somebody who needed medicine in one corner of Bombay. One of the volunteers picked up the medicine, handed it to another volunteer living about 30 kilometers away, and the third volunteer picked it up and gave it to the fifth person who needed the help. The idea is we are creating this relay of volunteers across Bombay who can help people like us. What the need is, there are good people everywhere. There are so many good people sitting out here, but there are good people in the government as well. And can we tap good government resources? Can we tap good people sitting out here? And
Right.
can we ensure that, don't tell me what the problems are. We all know what the problems are. If I ask you, 5 of you, how difficult was it to get here? We know the mobility issues in Bombay. Can we look at solutions? Can we say, this is what I would like to do for the solution? And then can we bring about a change? And can we look at accessibility is one part where
Yeah.
the change can happen.
Aruna ji, we've been talking about all of these projects, and I also saw Lions, what they are doing at of course, at the Give Conclave. Health sector आपका एकदम sorted है, education sector भी आपका एकदम sorted है. But what about new things that Lions are now interested in doing?
So you can see the impact now here. Since 2 days, 11,000 delegates and of course 200 stalls. And rightly said by you that we have so many schools adopted, even municipal schools, our Lions have adopted in every city. And we are having some very big program for the youth and the adults and children. That is Lions Quest program. We train the teachers, and then we have some literature made for them in all the languages, and we distribute that to those children so that they can be able to, grow up very nicely in a very, harmonious manner and all. And of course, there are so many programs coming now. We are already on that. For health, if you're talking about the health, yes, of course, I will like to tell you, we have about 200 eye hospitals in India, running by Lions and Lions clubs. This is our foundation, LCIF, and it's a big platform. We are having all the programs if your health is concerned. Eye hospitals, then you talk about dialysis centers.
Cancer.
You talk about childhood cancer,
Yep.
you talk about environment programs. Of course, blindness eradication. I was very much impressed with the Tata executive here that they were talking about they have started this with the blindness eradication. And we started with blindness only.
Right.
Helen Kerala started this, and Knights of the Blind, we used to call it when our foundation was formed. So I would like to request Tata executives here, as rightly said by everyone here, we need to get together.
True.
Everybody's sharing their thoughts. Everybody wants to give back to the society, unleash the power of generosity, to give some impact, and of course, some vision, empathy. We all talk about this. This Give Conclave is, for that only we have done it. Our India Association, our LCIF. So why not come together? Like she was talking about Khadi. Yes, we need that also.
True.
To make ourselves very comfortable. You're talking about the smart cities and all, smart villages, smart cities. We need that also. And you were talking about the brand of Bombay city, like you were doing plastic turning into a lot of good things which can donate and dedicate to the people who need it. And of course, you were talking about, something to come together and do something great. So I just want, we have so many corporates here. Since yesterday, we have been hearing so many corporates, so many things, they are doing it in their own ways. But why not they think, we Lions are very established. We have everything. Everything is set. Only we need the corporates to join. More corporates to join and come together. And then you will see the results. It will be brilliant.
Absolutely.
Country will be brilliant tomorrow. We talk about better tomorrow.
Right.
Today we are very good. But for better tomorrow, we need to come together.
How do you see this corporate community and sustainability dialogue come together from your field?
Interesting one. I always tell people that at Capgemini, for us, it's very, very important that we collaborate. And this is something that we have been saying this, we have been practicing this. Sometimes it becomes very difficult for many of the corporates there, and I don't blame them also. And my advice to them is that whenever you're looking into the whole collaborative practice there are two words which spoils it. And these are logos and egos, which in so many ways destroy the whole collaboration there.
So there is a lot of S that we have. So whether it's simplicity, whether it's scalability, synergy, which he's talking about in terms of collaboration that we have, and of course sustainability. But there's also something called shared success or shared value, and for that you need to have a purpose, a common purpose. It's not about not wanting to collaborate, but it's about the ability to collaborate on a common theme or a common purpose that we have, and that's important for us.
But Amrita, my question is, how difficult is it to reach out to people who have the means to help you?
So it becomes very important to actually reach out to everybody, right? To do that capacity building and training for the last mile people within the government and within the contractors and their staff, so that they learn, there is knowledge sharing, and there is a lot of citizen engagement so that, people contribute.
Shishir, if I may come to you on this particular thought, do you think कि छोटे शहरों में अपनी सिटी के लिए, अपने मुद्दों के लिए ज़्यादा लोग शिद्दत से काम करते हैं?
When people do something, they would like to see results. And in smaller cities, it's easier to see some of these results. It's difficult in a place like Mumbai because you're dealing with corporates, rightly so because there are compliances. Then you're dealing with governments, rightly so because they have their own set of issues. And the scale that you have to do an impact is huge. So then to get disheartened becomes very, very easy. Having said that, the size of a city, a 1% of a Nagpur and a 1% of Mumbai is a different math altogether.
Ma'am, last word is yours.
So we as individuals are ultimately responsible. And I suppose after coming here, I think it has been re-emphasized, by each of us here, whether it's a corporate or whether it's a government organization or whether it is a NGO working for the cause, it is we who would be ultimately leading and be the driving force. So be the change you wish to see. BEE also is included in that, I suppose.
So I'm so happy that we Lions are amalgamating everything together. Whatever you are talking about it, I think we Lions all have that in us.
Thank you all for being a wonderful audience. Thank you.
Roar to Restore. Media Partner 2023 CNBC-TV18. Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.